Hi there, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Linus, and if this is your first time seeing my face, hello, where have you been? It's so good to have you on this side of the page. I hope you stick around, and to those of you guys that are old subscribers, thank you so much for sticking around and for watching my videos. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about 9 facts that I was never taught about periods or menstrual cycle. I grew up in a very conservative culture, and talking about menstrual cycle periods around any opposite gender or sometimes even like your parents is literally the most awkward thing ever. I want to say 2 things before I get into the video. We live in a world where everybody nowadays wants to become famous. Everybody wants to find a purpose. They want to find what it is that God created them for. Whether the God you worship is up in heaven or is in the Bible or is in the Quran or is somewhere else, I don't really know. We all are trying to find a purpose. But sometimes people go to the wrong things to find their purpose. And sometimes people go after the wrong kind of things to find their purpose. In our generation right now, a lot of people are influenced by social media, and it is because of social media that sometimes we can have this desire to want to be known, to want to be big, to want to be something, and we feel like our purpose can only be accomplished or can only be fulfilled when the whole world knows us, and that's by becoming famous. And so a lot of us are trying way too hard to impress everybody around us and are trying too hard to live this kind of bougie life and showing off to everybody that we have it all figured out, and we're forgetting to work on ourselves. My advice is this: don't let the desire to become famous and to become important, to become somebody, derail you from accomplishing that which God has set before you. The other thing that I want to talk about, which also goes with what I'm going to be talking about in this video, is this. If you're a woman and have found pleasure, have or is or was finding pleasure in laughing at somebody who has had or has or is having a stain on their pants, a red stain on their pants in particular, shame on you, and you need to change. Because right now, the people that love to bring other people down are women. Women, sometimes we do not want to see other women succeed, and we can go to the most extremist extent to make sure we bring somebody down, and we've started to rejoice in seeing people fail, and that is not okay. Because today's topic is going to be about menstrual cycle. If not all of us have seen somebody with a red stain, and what has been our reaction? My question to you also is this: what has been your reaction if and when you saw somebody with a red stain on their pants? Did you go and help them? Did you laugh at them? Did you tell your best friend? Did you gossip? What has been your reaction? What was your reaction? So let's dive into the video, okay? The number 1 fact about periods that I was never taught is this: that you bleed for 5 days or more. This is something that might sound funny to you if your parents taught you, or might be like, how did you not know that? I didn't know, okay? So I remember when I first started bleeding, I woke up one time and I just found blood in my pants, in my underwear, okay? I just found blood, and I was very scared. Growing up, I was a very introverted person, and I grew up in a culture or in a home where voicing out my opinion wasn't really necessary. So a lot of emotions that I had and a lot of feelings that I had, I learned to bubble them up, and I never really spoke about a lot of things. Basically, anything that I went through, I always kept as a secret. It wasn't until now that I'm older that I've started to open up a lot more than I was back then. I remember when I started bleeding, and I just thought something was wrong with me, okay? I thought something was wrong with me. So I was like, okay, I don't really know what's wrong with me, but I'm bleeding, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be bleeding or whatever. Maybe I hurt myself. So I just got my undies, I washed them, and I moved on. And as a beginner who has not really fully been trained, I wore the most brightest clothes ever. I think it was like a pink skirt or something. And I remember I had class that day, and I went for class, and I went up to the board to answer a question, and I didn't know that I bled through my skirt. If you've seen me with a red stain on my pants, It's possible. It's part of life. Okay, it happens to all of us that bleed. So it was in my seventh or fifth grade, and I went up there to write this answer, and I just heard a couple girls whispering, and this girl told this guy, and then before I knew it, the teacher knew, and she had to pull me up, and she was like, you have something on your skirt. And so everybody knew in the class, okay, fifth or seventh grade, I think it was fifth grade, everybody knew that I bled through my skirt, and then I was taken to this little bathroom. I washed my undies and everything, and they changed me, and they were telling me about like how I was supposed to like do my stuff, yada yada yada. And then I went home, and then my grandma found out from a friend of hers that worked at my school. She went and gossiped that I bled through my skirt. I don't know why she did that. And then my grandma started interrogating me, like asking me questions, like, what did you do? Are you bleeding? I'm like, I'm bleeding. I don't know how I bled. I thought maybe like something happened to me, or maybe I got raped that night. So I didn't want to tell her because I didn't want to get in trouble. So the bleeding continued and continued and continued, and I didn't know I was gonna bleed for more than 5 days. I didn't even know. I just thought it was a one-time thing and we move on. I didn't know that fact. Fact number 2 is that periods involve cramps. This is something that I had no clue. I don't know why a lot of women, when they're teaching you about periods, why they don't talk about cramping. Nobody really mentioned about cramping when I was growing up. Maybe I just grew up from like old times, because I'm kind of old, so but nobody really mentioned cramping to me. So when I started hurting down here, I was like, definitely something is wrong with me. Something is not making sense here. So I gotta go get checked or something. Somebody gotta tell me what's happening. So the cramping, I will tell you this, the cramping is the worst thing. I always joke around with my friend and I say this: if periods came and it had nothing to do with cramping, I would probably be fine. Like, I wouldn't even mind, except that it's kind of gross, but I wouldn't mind. But the fact that it like eats your intestines, like somebody's like squeezing them, it's pretty bad. Okay, so one thing that I use when I'm cramping, let me show you guys. This is something that my friend gave me, actually, which I'm gonna invest into. These are like little pads that you put on your abdominal. You put them right here, and they just like, they stick around. You put them on your undies. You don't really want to put them on your actual skin because it kind of burns. So you put them on your undies. This is what it looks like. They help me a lot. Okay, so you might want to invest in them. So if you've never bled before and somebody has told you about menstrual cycle, periods, just prepare to go through the pain. Okay, but you're gonna survive because the rest of us have survived, so you'll be okay as well. Okay, number 3 is not having period doesn't mean you're pregnant. This is something that I had to like get used to, because sometimes your periods are irregular and sometimes you miss a period a month. I had to learn that not having your period doesn't always equal pregnancy. Okay, I will say this though: if you're going around sleeping with guys with no protection and you miss your periods, you're probably pregnant. Okay, you might as well go get checked or just get the home test and check yourself. Okay, I'm not saying you should go around and sleep around with guys with protection. No, I'm just saying that it would be wise for you not to do it. It would be wise for you not to just leave that thing aside, okay? When you do miss that period and you've never had sex with anybody, you shouldn't be terrified, okay? There's a lot of factors that can lead into somebody missing their periods. Maybe you're stressed, or maybe you've been traveling, lack of sleep, wet, all those things go into it, okay? So if you've missed it, don't worry, you're okay. Everything is fine. Number 4 is the fishy smell. This might come across a little like, why are you talking about that? But I gotta talk about it because when I was young, I used to smell some fishy smells on the bus. And I always wondered, like, why are we smelling fish? Okay, so in my country, it's not uncommon to smell fish. But on the bus, no, something is wrong. And I'll be looking around and there's nobody with fish. So now that I go through periods, I understand why. So if you don't change your pad, you're probably gonna smell some fishy there. Okay, so you better change it, get clean yourself as many times as you can. We don't want that fishy smell. Nobody wants it. Number 5, sometimes you poop a lot. Okay, personally, I feel like when I'm on my periods, I kind of poop a lot. Okay, I poop a lot, way too much. You might not be pooping way too much, but I kind of do. So something that you might go through might not be what I go through. So The experiences might be different, but you probably have one thing that you do a lot when you're on your period. Number 6, you can't swim unless with a tampon. There's some people that believe that when you're bleeding, you can go in the pool and you're not gonna bleed anymore. That's a myth. That doesn't happen. If you don't believe me and are like, oh, I'm just gonna go swim, it's fine, go try it, okay? Because in as much as you think that the blood will not be seen because there's so much water in there, it's still kind of gross because there are people swimming in there. So for hygiene's sake and for just your own safety, just don't do it, okay? Because also, if you're wearing a pad, that pad is gonna be as soggy as it can be, so you don't want that. That's just gross. And some people might just take their pads out and jump in the pool. No, we don't want to be swimming in your blood. Like, no, don't do that. That's just no, don't do it, okay? Number 7 is emotional change, okay? I know that sometimes, disclaimer, because some guys think every time a woman is emotional, they're on the period. Oh, it's that time of the month. No, it's not always that time of the month. We can be emotional too without being on our periods, but I feel like it's used so excessively that it's just like guys just be using that as why are you acting like this? What? No, I can be emotional too. However, women can be very emotional on their periods. So if you're a man, I would just advise you to stay away. Stay away, because one time they'll be like, I love you. The next time they'll call you a dog. The next time they say, I want potatoes. The next time I want chips. I want chocolate. I want something so. No, just so I would say be as loving, as kind as possible. And I feel like men need to be taught how to treat women when they're going through that situation. Because some men be like, oh, you're exaggerating way too much. It must not even be that bad. It really is that bad. It's really, really bad. Okay, number 8 is the kind of clothes you wear matter. Okay, the kind of clothes you wear externally and internally matter, as in like what people can see and what they cannot see. So your undies, they also matter. You cannot go there and wear the most bougie clothes you own when you're bleeding. That's just stupid in my opinion. Okay, go get those granny undies. Okay, use those granny undies. If your boyfriend is like, why are you wearing old granny underwear? You don't understand that you're gonna buy me the most expensive undies just so I can bleed through them? No. So as a woman, you need to know when to wear the most ugliest underwear, what day that is, what month that is. You need to know all that stuff. Okay, so make sure you wear some dark or red or black or whatever, brown, whatever color that's not as cute when you're bleeding, because that's very important. And wear dark colors when you're on your period. Don't go wear white, don't go wear a blue, light blue, don't go wear whatever, don't go wear anything light. Just be in the dark mood, okay? Wear dark, because I mean you're feeling dark anyway, so you might as well just embrace it. The last point is this: dark or brown periods don't mean you're dying. Okay, this is something that I didn't really know, because sometimes you might be like, am I okay? Why is my blood looking like this? Why is it not as bright as it can be? That doesn't mean you're dying. It just means that you have some old blood in you, and that blood gotta come out some way, and that's how it comes out. And you're okay. Everything is okay. There's no problem. There's nothing wrong. I will say though, if you're bleeding and you have dark or brown blood for like 2 months and you've been having that blood, you probably might want to get checked, because that doesn't sound okay. Just some personal advice. But guys, those are the things that I went through. Those are the things that I have experienced during my whole perioding time. That's what I've experienced. Needless to say, it's not fun. It's very painful. It's a painful experience, but it is what it is. It happens. I hope you learned 1 or 2 things, and if you've not yet started your periods, you might want to watch this video, because I feel like it's very insightful. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.